It's December, so that means it's time to take a look at a few new items picked up in November of 2023. Starting off are two great digital pieces out of Yemen. In the midst of a war with many factions and groups, various camouflage patterns have been seen, with these two being unique to the country. The one on the left, a larger woodland-dominant digital pattern, was introduced a few years before the start of the war, while the one on the right, a smaller, more urban-style digital, is a bit newer, being seen in the late 2010s. Both were originally used by members of the Special Security Forces, though now seem to be worn a bit more sporadically by other units as well. Moving east further into Asia are these two. On the left is a peculiar one, as at first glance it appears to be the current pattern of Thailand's Air Force. However, the colors are a bit more muted, appearing almost faded slightly, not to mention the size of the shapes being smaller and slightly different too. This is actually Laos' current Air Force pattern, which was first introduced around 2019. Next to it is a slightly older pattern from Nepal, which continues to be the standard issue one for most of its forces. Moving north are two pieces with ties to a mysterious nation which is very hard to collect militaria from: North Korea. This pair of uniforms are near exact replicas of ones unveiled during the October 2020 parade. This pattern was seen in a few variants and almost appears to take elements of China's Type 07 and mixes it with South Korea's Granite B pattern, which is most evident in the urban variant not seen here. Being that North Korea has had varying levels of support and trade with China over the years, this has translated into some uniforms being produced, resulting in the occasional odds and ends ranging from actual uniforms to bits of camouflage fabric being left over, the later of which was used to replicate the design and ultimately ended with these two sets being made. And speaking of China, that's where we find ourselves with the last grouping of uniforms, with one Grail item among them. These three sets being the PLA's Type 21 Urban on the left, the People's Armed Police Type 21 Woodland on the right, and perhaps one of the strangest but most endearing camouflages out there, the Cloud pattern, seen only during the 2009 celebrations within the country. A short video on that pattern was done a little while back, but keep an eye out in the near future for a sort of part 2 that'll have more information, a breakdown, and an in-depth look at it, plus a look at a few other connected patterns. A very special thanks to Shang Shay, who tracked down and provided all the uniforms in this video and actually quite a few others over the last year. You can find him on Instagram. Link to the account can be found in the description below. But that'll do it for this video and its super obscure items. We'll be back in January to close out 2023 by looking at everything picked up in December. Until then, everyone.